Welcome. Firstly, Shubho Saptami to everybody, to all my colleagues as well. Only Rohan is enjoying himself, the rest are working. So, Snehashish in Dubai. Abhijit, we will do Nadal in a bit. So, you are welcome to join, but why don't you join back a little bit later because we'll start with football. That will give us a better window. But Abhijit, Shubho Saptami to you and yours as well. So, we start with Shubho Pujo, Gargi to you and the family, Snehashish, Devashish, Rohan, all of us celebrating. Snehashish, actually, why don't you also join back because we'll start with football and then we can sort of invite you to join back in about 15-20 minutes. Yeah, because we'll get to the cricket in a bit. So first things first, what is the latest? What is the latest that we are getting on the AFC front? That is one. Our interview with Jose Molina, which Rohan was there, Devashish was there. We will be premiering one part of the interview. আমরা একটা part আজকে চালাবো, and we will be. There are two interviews actually. One was the Derby interview, which is about a 15-20 minute interview specifically on the Derby. Molina on the Derby, pressure, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, league, the fan pressure, his team, Mohammedan sporting match, momentum, every question on the Derby asked. That is something we will play later. We will play later. Secondly, the interview that we will play today is a festival interview. Molina and the festive city, the culture, the pujas, the everything else, food. What does he do in his, comparing a Spanish festival with a Kolkata festival, and of course, Derby. We will play that as well. We will play that as well. But any updates that we have, let's start with some news. Any updates that we have from Devashish and Rohan? I have some updates. Rohan, have you got anything more from the AFC? Gargi, have you got anything more from the AFC standpoint?
Is there anything? Because as far as I know, that was told last day. আমার কাছে ওইটুকুই আপডেট আছে তো তার বেশি কিছু নেই দেওয়াশিস দা if you have anything else.
What is the update that you have, Rohan?
Sorry?
What is the update you have?
No, I just said that last day যেটা ছিল I have that much only. তার বেশি কিছু নেই.
Okay.
So I asked দেওয়াশিস দা.
So the update that I've got is AFC has asked Estegal FC, the Iran team, to find a neutral venue to host Al Nassr. So
nice.
Devashish, I've got that AFC has asked the Iran team to find a neutral find a neutral venue to host Al Nassr. So that is the AFC instructions to the Iranian team. Now, if that is the case, then clearly Mohun Bagan has a case of going to CAS. 100% that is now set in stone. Devashish,
Yeah, so why was that not applied to Mohun Bagan?
Don't know. Devashish.
But I don't think AFC is going to change it. Since they have already decided, it's only up to Mohun Bagan Supergiant whether they want to take the matter to CAS. If they take the matter to CAS, they have very strong grounds to win the case. And that will মোহন বাগান সমর্থকদের জন্য খুব আনন্দের খবর হবে সেটা, কারণ মোহন বাগানের কাছে যে ধরনের স্ট্রং গ্রাউন্ড আছে তাতে আমার মনে হয় ক্যাসে গেলে ব্যাপারটা মোহনবাগান নিষ্পত্তি করতে পারবে নিজেদের পক্ষে। তবে আমার এরকম কোনো ইনস্ট্যান্স নেই যেখানে এএফসি জানিয়ে দিয়ে পরে সেটাকে পরিবর্তন করে, যেখানে এএফসি ক্লিয়ারলি কিন্তু ঘোষণা করে দিয়েছে। সেখানে এখন বিষয়টা আসছে যে ফোর্স ম্যাজিওর, সেখানে তাহলে তারা কি পরিবর্তন করবে? কেননা সিচুয়েশনটা যেটা ছিল, এয়ার স্পেস বন্ধ ছিল, তারপরে যুদ্ধকালীন একটা পরিস্থিতি ছিল, যে দিনটায় ইনফ্যাক্ট 2 তারিখে যে মোহনবাগানের ম্যাচটা ছিল তার সেটা কিন্তু 5 দিনের ন্যাশনাল মর্নিং এর সময় ছিল। সুতরাং এত কিছু বিবেচ্য করে এখন যেটা ইরানের অন্যান্য দিনগুলোর ক্ষেত্রে করছে, তাহলে কি বিবেচনা করবে? তবে বুড়িয়ে দেয় এখন যেটা সব থেকে ব্যাপার যেটা হচ্ছে যে পুজো পড়ে গেছে এখন। এই মুহূর্তে পুজো পড়ে যাওয়া এই 3 দিন কিছু হবে না। এই 3 দিনে কোনো ডেভেলপমেন্ট আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, কেননা এই 3 দিন সবই বন্ধ এখানে। সুতরাং এই যা কিছু হবে, যা মুভমেন্ট হবে সবই কিন্তু পুজোর পর।
So Gargi, despite the fact that AFC is moving every other game out of Iran and has asked the Iranian club to find a neutral venue to host Al Nassr, the Mohun Bagan suspension, withdrawal, penalized, whatever it is, stays. That is the moot point that all of us are agreeing on. So clearly, Mohun Bagan now has one option, and that is to move court. That's the kind of consensus that is emanating from here. Uh, as a journalist, do you think, having studied this case with us over the last few days, do you reckon that Mohun Bagan has a solid case of going to CAS and should? And obviously, till date, at this point, AIFF is completely silent. In fact, the AIFF president is now embroiled in a different fight with the IOA president. She has issued a press release saying Kalyan Chaubey has no locus standi of calling an SGM. That is a different fight going on between the IOA president and the executive board. PT Usha has just issued a press release saying Kalyan Chaubey, in his position as acting CEO, he is not the acting CEO, he has no locus standi. So that is a arekta onno lorai cholche between IOA and AIFF President Kalyan Chaubey. That's a different fight. But Gargi, your thoughts on this particular matter before Rohan? I hope you have the Molina clips ready.
Yeah.
Both clips? We have two clips, right? You have two clips ready.
The reels that we played today, right, morning? Yeah.
Okay, ठीक है. You at least got two clips ready. ठीक है. We'll get to the Molina clips in a bit, but Gargi, answer first.
No, I think Mohun Bagan has a solid case here, because it's not as if 2 or 3 other teams were also disqualified or were said to have withdrawn from the tournament. It was just Mohun Bagan, and 2-3 days later you have the AFC moving the match from there for safety concerns. So it's a clear case right now that there's been discrimination with the Mohun Bagan club, and of course you can always say that you took the same decision as we did, but why were we penalized for it? So that's, I think, Mohun Bagan at this point should definitely go to CAS and have a very strong case there. On the other hand, if you're looking at why AIFF is silent, it's clear because they're fighting internally so much that they don't have time for anything else. They don't have time for the important issues. I don't understand what all politics or what all fights these are and what it means for anyone except personal ego or personal vendetta at this point. But with all these fights, you're losing out on good things. You're harming the
The Mohun Bagan update that we are getting just now is they are actually studying the CAS option, and they are in touch with their legal team, and they will get back to them pretty soon. So that's what we are getting from the Mohun Bagan management, that they are in touch with their lawyers. They are clearly mulling the CAS option, and they are studying the CAS option, and their lawyers will get back to them very soon. Have they heard from AIFF? No. That's what the update that we are getting. Has AIFF even said a word? No, not yet. রাহুল কোথায় জিজ্ঞেস করছে অমরজিৎ হালদার? রাহুল ঝাড়গ্রামে, তাই তো রোহন?
না ও আজকে অফ নিয়েছে,
আচ্ছা, ছুটি নিয়েছে, ও পুজোয় ঘুরছে, পুজোয় ঘুরছে রাহুল। So he's taken an off. So Rahul ওটা, let's play the Molina.
একটা বিষয়ে আপডেট দিই, আমি একটা বিষয় যদি আমাকে একটু বলতে দেওয়া হয় আমি বলছি, সেটা হলো এএফসি বাদ দাও, এখন দুটো মোহনবাগান এবং ইস্টবেঙ্গলের মধ্যে কিন্তু লেগে গেছে মাঠের বাইরে। যে ঘটনাটা হলো আইএফএ, যে ঘটনাটা, যে ন্যাক্কারজনক ঘটনাটা ঘটলো, ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে পুরো পয়েন্ট দিয়ে মানে চ্যাম্পিয়নের দুর্গরা একদম করে দিয়ে, তাতে কিন্তু মোহনবাগান কিন্তু ইতিমধ্যেই তারা হুঙ্কার দিয়েছে যে তারা আইএফএ শিল্ড খেলবে না, এবং সেই চিঠি অলরেডি চলে গেছে। আজকে আমাদের দেবাশিস দত্ত আমাদের আজকে ফোনে জানিয়েছে যে আমরা এটা ইমিডিয়েটলি পদত্যাগ দাবি করেছে আইএফএ অফিসিয়ালদের। ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের দেবব্রত সরকারও কিন্তু আমাদের ফোন ইন দিয়েছে, যেটা আমরা একটু পরেই একটা ভিডিও চালাবো। ইস্ট বেঙ্গলেরও একটা ভার্সন দিয়েছে, কেননা মাঠের বাইরের লড়াই কিন্তু জমে গেছে। মাঠের ভেতরে কি হবে সে তো 19 তারিখ দেখা যাবে, কিন্তু বাইরে কেউ কাউকে ছাড়তে চায় না। মানে ইস্ট বেঙ্গলেরও বলছে যে আমাদের এখানে কোনো ভূমিকা নেই। মোহনবাগানের বক্তব্য হচ্ছে মোহামেডান, এবং মোহামেডানও কিন্তু চিঠি দিয়েছে, মোহামেডানও শুধু মোহামেডান নয়, সাচি স্পোর্টসও চিঠি দিয়েছে আইএফএ কে, যে তাদেরকে সেরকম তাদের ভার্সনটা না জানিয়ে হঠাৎ করে হুট করে একটা ডিসিপ্লিনারি কমিটি মিটিং ডেকে তড়িঘড়ি একটা সিদ্ধান্ত চাপিয়ে দেওয়া। সুতরাং পুরো বিষয়টাই কিন্তু সব যাবতীয় তীর কিন্তু আইএফএ এর দিকে। আইএফএ কিন্তু একটা পেরেন্ট বডি।
দাঁড়া, তুই প্রথম থেকে আগে ঘটনাটা বল, তারপরে গন্ডগোলটা বল। ফার্স্ট আউটলাইন দ্য ক্রাইসিস ফর আওয়ার ভিউয়ার্স এন্ড দেন
বলছি।
সো সে দ্য
20 সেপ্টেম্বর কলকাতা লিগের সুপার 6 এর ম্যাচ ছিল নৈহাটিতে। ইস্ট বেঙ্গল এবং মোহামেডান স্পোর্টিং এর। সেই ম্যাচটা 2-2 গোলে সমাপ্ত হয়। দুটো দলকেই 1 পয়েন্ট করে পায়, যেহেতু ম্যাচটা ড্র হয়। কিন্তু ওই ম্যাচে দেখা যায় যেটা আইএফএ এর যেটা নিয়ম, অর্থাৎ ভূমিপুত্র সান অফ সয়েল, 90 মিনিট পর্যন্ত তোমাকে 4 জন প্লেয়ারকে রাখতে হবে সান অফ সয়েল, 4 ভূমিপুত্রকে খেলাতে হবে, যেখানে মোহামেডান কিন্তু 4 জন প্লেয়ার খেলাই। এবং নিয়মের বেড়াজালে তাদের তাদের সেই আপত্তিটা কিন্তু ইস্টবেঙ্গল জানিয়েছিল আইএফএ কে। 20 তারিখে যে ঘটনাটা ঘটেছে সেটা যদি অতই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ হতো, তাহলে তার একদিন পরে, 2 দিন পরে, 3 দিন পরে, 4 দিন পরে, 1 সপ্তাহ পরে হলো না কেন? কেন ব্যাপারটা গতকাল মানে মঙ্গলবার দিন হলো, এতদিন ডিলে হলো কেন ব্যাপারটা? এখানেই আপত্তি ডায়মন্ড হারবারের। কেন? ডায়মন্ড হারবারের কাছে কিন্তু খুব ভালো অপরচুনিটি ছিল। এই 15টা ম্যাচ খেলে ইস্টবেঙ্গলের পয়েন্ট হচ্ছে 43, সমসংখ্যক ম্যাচ খেলে ডায়মন্ড হারবারের পয়েন্ট হচ্ছে 39। যদি এবং 14 তারিখে আইএফএ কিন্তু ম্যাচটা দিয়েছিল ব্যারাকপুরে, ইস্টবেঙ্গল এবং ডায়মন্ড হারবার। ইতিমধ্যেই কিন্তু ডায়মন্ড হারবার নাম প্রত্যাহার করে নিয়েছে কলকাতা লিগ থেকে। তাদের কারণটা এটাই যে আমাদের বিরুদ্ধে অনৈতিক আচরণ করলো আইএফএ, ফেয়ার এনাফ। এবং যদি ডায়মন্ড হারবার ওই ম্যাচটা জিততো, তাহলে একদম ঘাড়ের ওপরে নিঃশ্বাস ফেলতো ইস্টবেঙ্গলে। 15টা ম্যাচ খেলে ইস্টবেঙ্গলের সেখানে হয়তো 43ই থাকতো। যদি মোহামেডান ম্যাচটা যদি 3 পয়েন্ট না পায়, তাহলে ইস্টবেঙ্গলের ম্যাচ পয়েন্ট তো সেখানে কিন্তু 15টা ম্যাচ খেলে 41। আর ডায়মন্ড হারবারের ম্যাচ, ডায়মন্ড হারবার কিন্তু 1 পয়েন্ট এগিয়ে যেত ইস্টবেঙ্গল থেকে, যদি ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে হারাতে পারতো 14 তারিখে। সুতরাং পুরো বিষয়টাই যেভাবে হয়েছে, তাতে কিন্তু ময়দানে কিন্তু এক কাট্টা মোহামেডান, মোহনবাগান, ডায়মন্ড হারবার, ত্রিমুখী আক্রমণ আইএফএর দিকে আক্রমণ, এবং ইস্টবেঙ্গল সম্পূর্ণ আলাদা। সুতরাং এখন দেখার বিষয় যে অবশ্যই তার থেকেও বড় কথা যে আরেকটা আপডেট যেটা বড়িয়াদা আমাদের প্ল্যাটফর্মে দিতে, যে
দেবাশিস 1 মিনিট, এটাতে ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের কিন্তু কোনো রোল নেই, যাবতীয় রোলটা ইজ আইএফএ। ইস্ট বেঙ্গল ইজ নট রেসপন্সিবল ফর দিস।
না, এক্স্যাক্টলি।
Have you spoken, আমরা কি, have you tried to reach out to IFA and Anirban? Have you tried to reach out to IFA?
অনির্বাণ দত্ত এই মুহূর্তে কিছু বলবে না বড়িয়াদা। পুজোর পর যখন আইএফএ খুলবে, সব অফিসিয়ালদের সঙ্গে আলোচনা করে তারপরে সিদ্ধান্ত নেবে। এই মুহূর্তে আইএফএ বন্ধ, পুজোর জন্য আইএফএ বন্ধ 3 দিন। এই 3 দিন কিছু হবে না। সুতরাং ব্যাপার, এবং আইএফএ অফিসিয়ালদের উপরে কিন্তু মানে প্রচন্ড চাপ। এই মুহূর্তে অনির্বাণ দত্ত কিন্তু একটা টার্ন আউট একটা ভিলেন এই মুহূর্তে। কেননা মোহামেডান, রাঁচি স্পোর্ট, মোহনবাগান সবাই কিন্তু, এবং ডায়মন্ড হারবার সবাই কিন্তু ঘুরিয়ে কিন্তু তাদের তীর হচ্ছে আইএফএর দিকে। এখন আইএফএ কিন্তু বিষয়টা জানতে, দেখতে, বুঝতে পেরে, গুরুত্ব বুঝতে পেরে যেভাবে সবাই মিলে যেভাবে ঝাঁপিয়েছে, তাতে কিন্তু আবার তাদের একটা বৈঠক ডাকতে হতে পারে, যেখানে কিন্তু মোহামেডানের বক্তব্যটাও শুনতে হতে পারে। এবং ভ্যালিড গ্রাউন্ড, মোহামেডান যেটা বলছে যে স্বাভাবিক, আমাদের তো গ্রাউন্ড থাকবে, আমাদের তো একটা আত্মপক্ষ সমর্থন করার একটা সুযোগ দিতে হবে। আপনারা নিজের মতন করে দায়িত্ব নিয়ে নিলেন, নিজের মতন করে ডিসিপ্লিনারি কমিটি নিয়ে আপনারা ঘোষণা করে দিলেন যে ওই ম্যাচের পয়েন্ট পুরো দিয়ে দেওয়া হবে ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে। তাহলে আগে করতে পারতেন আপনারা। এই হুট করে প্রায় কয়েক 10-12 দিন পরে করলেন কেন?
This is a lovely controversy. I love these controversies. Devashish Sen, now this is your beat for some days. Gargi is not understanding because of you continuously speaking in Bangla. So that is a problem we really need to get. Gargi, you find out a Bengali teacher in Delhi, because clearly football, this Bengal football is something that you need to get into. But Rohan, having heard what Devashish just said, 2-2, 1 point each, then AIFF deciding this unilaterally, Mohammedan protesting, Mohun Bagan joining in, East Bengal saying we don't have a role. Where do you stand in this? Is there a case of bias, or is there no bias? What is your take? You follow Kolkata Football League pretty closely. Rohan.
Yes, একটাই মতামত, if it would have been the 3 points would have had to be pointed to East Bengal, awarded to East Bengal, then অনেক আগে করা উচিত ছিল। এতদিন they shouldn't have waited. So that's my take on this. And any team, মানে Mohammedan, whether it's Mohammedan, whether it's Diamond Harbour, they would want to protest, because it's quite fair on their part ki why ম্যাচের আগে আমাদের এইটা হচ্ছে because yes Devashish da
আরো একটা বিষয় রোহন জানো, যে 14 তারিখে ম্যাচটা রেখেছে ইস্ট বেঙ্গল আর ডায়মন্ড হারবার কিন্তু পুজোর ছুটি দিয়ে দিয়েছে প্লেয়ারদের, এবং তারা সবাই রিপোর্ট করবে 13 তারিখে। সুতরাং তারা প্লেয়ার অ্যাসেম্বল করবে কি করে, প্র্যাকটিস করবে কি করে, দল নামাবে কি করে, মানে আইএফএ যাবতীয় ডিসিশন নেয় হুইমসিক্যাল। আইএফএ যখন যা মানে তুগলো কি ব্যাপার একটা। এবারে ডায়মন্ড হারবার তুমি বোঝো যে তাদের প্লেয়ারদের পুজোর ছুটি দিয়ে দিয়েছে, তাদের প্লেয়ারদের আবার 13 তারিখে অ্যাসেম্বল করতে হবে, প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে, পরে 14 তারিখে ম্যাচ। এটা কি করে পসিবল? তাই জন্যই কিন্তু, এবং দেখো until and unless you help develop this ছোট টিমগুলো যদি না তোমার উঠে আসে।
Some people are accusing you of bias, Devashish বলছে দেবাশিস বাবু আপনি biased।
আমি কি রকম বায়াস করলাম আপনি বোঝান, যে আমি জানি না কে বলছে, বা আমি এখানে আমি তো জাস্ট ফ্যাক্ট গুলো বললাম, আমি তো ফ্যাক্ট গুলো বললাম।
তাই তো মনে হচ্ছে কথাবার্তা দেখে আমরা কোন দলের সাপোর্টার না, গার্গী খালি একাই ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের সাপোর্টার, আমার মোহনবাগানেরও।
আর রোহন পরিষ্কারই বললো যে আপনি আইএফএ তাহলে এই সিদ্ধান্তটা আগে জানানো না কেন, যখন ডায়মন্ড হারবার
দেবাশিস বাবু এত বায়াস কেন আগে বলুন, রুলস ব্রেক করেছে কিনা, মোহামেডান রুল ব্রেক করেছে কিনা সেটা বলুন।
100 বার মোহামেডান রুলস ব্রেক করেছে, এটাতে এর মধ্যে তো কোনো দ্বিমত নেই। মোহামেডান 4 জন ভূমিপুত্র খেলেনি, এটা সবাই জানে, এটা সর্বজনীন বৈধ। কিন্তু ব্যাপার হচ্ছে যে এই এখন যখন ডায়মন্ড হারবার একটা চ্যাম্পিয়নশিপে দৌড়ে আছে, তখন আপনি একটা ডিসিপ্লিনে করে ইস্ট বেঙ্গলের সুযোগ পাইয়ে দিলেন। দিস ইজ ভেরি আনফরচুনেট।
So basically the problem is the timing. Is that the case, Rohan? The timing of the decision.
But the thing is IFA এর কাছে স্ট্রং গ্রাউন্ডস আছে যে আমরা নালিশটা মানে কমপ্লেইন্টসটা পেয়েছি যবে তবে আমরা অ্যাকশন নিয়েছি, আমরা নিজে থেকে অ্যাকশন নিয়ে নিব। So IFA have that ground.
What is important here is we need an IFA version. We absolutely need an IFA version in this whole matter. Devashish Sen, it is your responsibility to get us that IFA version. Rohan Chaudhary, yours, mine as well. I will also get into this and try and get you an IFA version, because it is extremely important to have both versions of a particular story. Like
Shall we try to get Anirban Dotto? Shall we try and get Anirban Dotto?
একদম
I will.
এখন আমাদের কাছে অনেক কিছু জিনিস আছে। আজকে let's bring Anirban Dotto tomorrow on live. Tomorrow 5 at 5 let's bring Anirban Dotto.
We must get an IFA version. It is extremely important to get an IFA version. Okay, Ravshan accepted Tractor's proposal to reverse the, what is this, away fixture, and AFC is likely to approve. What is Ravshan accepted Tractor FC's proposal to reverse the home match and away fixture, and AFC is likely to approve. Krishnendu Banerjee. You know, that clearly means that Mohun Bagan still stands a chance if they go to CAS. I keep saying this. Mohun Bagan people just confirmed to us that they are still mulling the option. They are speaking to their lawyers. A lot of people asking for that Molina video. They are, Rohan, play one of the clips. Play one of the clips of the Molina video, and let's kind of set the, by the way, the full interview is at 6 p.m. Rohan, play it and we'll tell them about it.
19th, and you will have to lead that puja, the derby against East Bengal. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is we are going to prepare in the best way as possible that derby. We know the important they have for the fans, for everybody here. The club, the management, everybody is thinking in that match. Of course, as a staff, coaching staff, the players, we are all of us focusing that match and.
বাকিটা যেটা রোহান দেখালো না সেখানে উনি বলছেন we are focusing on that match and we have to win. We have to win. That is what he said.
6 p.m.
At 6 p.m. Molina on festival, on food, on culture, on Kolkata, on coaching Mohun Bagan,
it's already
on the
scheduled.
whole festivity, the schedule, what is different between 2016 and now, Spanish festivals with Kolkata festivals. So this is the culture interview of Molina during this festive season. And ahead of the derby, in exactly 5 days from now, a full-length analysis with Jose Molina on the derby, a 15-minute strong interview, build up to the derby, momentum, football, How good is East Bengal? Is Mohun Bagan favorites? Is there a favorite in a derby? Every tough question asked. When people say go back Molina, how does it impact him? When they say that your defense is rubbish, how does it impact him? How does he deal with such negative criticism? We asked him every possible question. Every possible question was asked, and he answered them. The good thing is he did not flinch from answering the questions. So Molina interview coming up at 6 p.m. We will come back to football, but before that, let me go to Gargi Rao. She's been silent. Her favorite sports star has retired 2 hours back. I know within our group, three of our women reporters and colleagues, Gargi Rao, Trisha Ghoshal, and Pooja Gosika, are all in mourning. All of them. Gargi Raut, what does Rafael Nadal mean for you?
Boria, I think Obijit is also waiting backstage.
Yes, get Obijit in because he covered
So,
Nadal's last game, Gargi and Obijit.
shall I leave, Puriya?
Hello.
Yes, Devashish, you can leave. You can leave.
Boria, I would also leave, but before that, I just want to say something on the Hockey India League auctions. About the
Yes, tell me.
So just a recap of what happened today. The official press release had come from the Hockey India that over 1,000 players will be registered, both men and women, for the auctions. 400 domestic men players, 150 overseas men players, 250 domestic women, and over 70 overseas women players will be registered for the auctions. 2 lakh, 5 lakh, and 10 lakhs are the prizes of the best prizes. 600 players will be in the 200,000 category. 250 players will be in the 500,000 category, and 250 players will be in the 1 million category. And the tournament will start on 28th of December this year, and the men's final will be on 1st February, and women's final will be on 26th January.
Okay, just to add to what Rohan said, let me tell you some more details of the Hockey India auction. Who was the Australian coach at the Olympic Games? Colin Bach, and before that, multiple gold medals for Australia. He is going to coach the Shrachi team for the Hockey India Premier League.
Nice.
Who's coaching the Shrachi women's team? From the Indian standpoint, as assistant coach, the head coach is again the Aussie Glenn Turner. And who's coaching the Shrachi team from among Indian women? It's Rani Rampal. And among the men, among the men, Colin Bach, and Colin is being assisted by Deepak Thakur. So it is a solid coaching unit that they put together. According to me, the three players, and I'm putting it on record, Gargi Raut will be covering it in Delhi. The three players who will fetch the maximum amount of monies that I understand, one, of course, obvious, Harmanpreet Singh will fetch the maximum amount of money. People will go up to even 75 lakhs to 1 crore is my understanding. The total team purse is accordingly going to split up. 4 crores, they will split up accordingly. Harmanpreet Singh, number one. Sukhjit, according to me, people will break their bank for Sukhjit. They will also break their bank for Abhishek. And some of the others.
Mandeep Singh.
Mandeep and Manpreet are both there. But Manpreet, because he's at the fag end of his career, Amit Rohidas, Kalinga Lancers will break their bank for Amit Rohidas. No question. A.B. Subaya is the coach. They will break their bank for Amit Rohidas. He's a local. UP will break their. Neelkanta will also go for good money. Vivek Sagar good money. So these are players who, according to me, will go for solid money. Some players, like Rupinder Pal Singh, who has retired after Tokyo, has put himself in the 10 lakh bracket. Will he get the 10 lakhs will be of interest because he is also a drag flicker, do not forget. A Jugraj Singh, a Rupinder Pal Singh, a Harmanpreet Singh, these people are rare because they are drag flickers. So that's something we have to. The other point that Rohan did not mention is someone who has, suppose it's Gargi Rao. Gargi has pegged her base price at 10 lakhs. Suppose Gargi is not sold. I can get Gargi back into the auction and buy for 3 or 4 lakhs, whatever I want. So it is no longer the base price that will be applicable. So people might just let Rupinder Pal pass, get him back into the auction and try and buy him for a lesser price. So the Hockey India auction will be fantastic to watch this Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. So that's the hockey, this thing. Rohan, Thank you for joining.
Thank
Snehashish
you.
is also there. Before we go into cricket, let's go to Abhijit and Gargi on tennis. Gargi, you go first before I go to Abhijit.
Yeah, I think it has made us all very emotional today watching Rafa retire, because we've all, grown up watching him, and it's, hard to express how much Rafa meant to all of tennis fans. And watching him play all these years hasn't just been about tennis. It's been a lesson in determination and humility as well. And every time he stepped on the court, his energy, his passion, the way he carried himself with grace, win or lose, has been, a constant reminder of what it is to not just be a great athlete, but also a great human being. And I think we'll all take those lessons with us now that he's retired. But yeah, he's retiring as one of the legends of tennis. And what more do you want? I think this is a bittersweet goodbye.
Abhijit Deshmukh, you saw Rafa Nadal versus Carlos Alcaraz at the Olympics. Tell us.
Yeah, Bored, if you remember, I was in Chateauroux and was coming towards Paris, and I saw it. I thought probably it could be the last match of Rafael Nadal at Roland Garros, and I didn't came to the hotel. I went directly to Roland Garros from Chateauroux, and unfortunately, it was his last match at the Roland Garros. But what an athlete, not only for tennis but for overall sports. I just like to share one incident at 2016. I was a volunteer at the tennis, and everyone wants to have selfie with Rafa. He was the biggest. Djokovic was also there. Andy Murray was also there. So I took one selfie with Rafa, and it didn't came that good. So I approached Nadal and said, it's not that good. Can I have one more selfie? And he didn't hesitate, and he said, okay, why not? So that's how Nadal is, and we all the time we see
Are you
those.
seeing Gargi? Are you seeing her face? She's getting grim and grim and grim as you tell this selfie story. So you be careful how you say the story. Abhijit Deshmukh, you are in dire, trouble. I'm telling you.
Well, I have more stories as well of Rafaela, but it was good to see him at Rio and even at the Paris as well. And what an incredible athlete! I think one of the best thing about Nadal was there was one video which when he did his practice session, he would take out the net and do a clean of the clay court so that the other tennis players that would come, they would practice, and that shows how disciplined he was. And all these small things make a lot of difference. It shows the world how incredible, not only as a tennis but as a human being he is as well. I think tennis has become poorer today, and his last match will be the final eight at the Davis Cup that start in November. But still, there will be chance, forever, to watch him on the television for the probably for the one last time. But yeah, I think an incredible athlete. I mean, you rarely get such athlete once in a century, I would say. And I would say we are lucky to have seen these three athletes in the same generation: Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and Rafael Nadal. Incredible athletes.
I own Rafa. This thing I've interviewed Rafa once, twice, thrice, and great memories. I've got multiple artifacts of Rafa in my museum, including a jacket of his cap and shirt and all that. Fantastic memories. I mean, there was a 1 hour conversation where I actually asked him about injuries. And I said, had you not been injured, how many more trophies and Grand Slams would you have won? And he actually explained to me and put it in perspective, saying, look, injuries are part and parcel of an athlete's career. It can't be that you will not get injured. We play one of those sports where injuries will happen. And he went on. Then we had an explanation about what else could he have done, because he was a very good football player, by the way. He was a
Yep.
very good football player, and asked him about that. Would he have played football at that level? I asked him about his food and films and culture and a lot of that. So my personal memories of Rafa, and thanks to Mahesh Bhupati, because Mahesh Bhupati introduced the two of us, and Imran Mirza. Mahesh Bhupati and Imran Mirza introduced the two of us, and I'm sort of indebted to them. So Rafa Nadal, tomorrow, multiple pieces. We've already done a piece. I've done one. Kannan has done one as tributes. Tomorrow we are getting Mahesh Bhupati to write a special piece on Rafael Nadal, the friend that I know. So Mahesh Bhupati writing for Rev Sports on Rafael Nadal. Trisha Ghoshal will write on Rafael Nadal as a fan, and Gargi Raut will write on Rafael Nadal as a fan. And Abhijit just said how he came directly from Chateauroux, 3 hours by train, went directly to Roland Garros to watch a glimpse of Rafa Nadal. And Abhijit is spot on. The sport is poorer. We were all enriched by his presence on the tennis court. Beautiful. So Rafa
But
Nadal,
what would be his best match you think of the career?
so many. Gargi, which will be yours? I mean, Australian Open, French, that Wimbledon final. I mean, how many? But that Wimbledon final was incredible. Even
2008.
2008,
Wim-
absolutely. I mean, but there are so many.
That
There
that
are so many matches that come to memory.
and I think the 2008 Wimbledon final to me what was probably his best because in 2006 and 7 he lost to Roger, and from that day probably Roger was said, okay, there's someone challenging him at the grass courts, and then that's how first ever to win all the slams at such a young age. And then what an incredible, I think that match of where he defeated Roger Federer. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Federer, but I think that day he I was his fan, and what an incredible match it was. Lasted for 5 sets and incredible.
So, the good part about Nadal, and I'll give Gargi the last word before we move to cricket, is I've been a Federer fan in that sense, and I've always enjoyed watching Federer and Novak. But Rafa has always got respect from all of us.
Yeah.
That's nobody hates Rafa. No one in this thing will say bad words about Rafa Nadal, and that is incredible. Even his comeback story, he knew he would lose, but that's sport. That 2008, according to me, is all. I mean, that is a special match. Gargi, you've watched many. Your final words on Rafa Nadal before Snehashish is joining from a boiling pot, so we have to get him on.
Yes, before Snehashish melts. But quickly, I wanted to just say that you're right. Everyone loves Rafa, and I think it has a lot to do with his humility, his work ethic, the way he carries himself, and like I said before as well, he's a grace. He has so much grace, whether it be winning or losing, and he's someone who's never really relied solely on his talent and his fighting spirit and never give up attitude. I think that's what we love so much about Rafa, and like he spoke about his comeback as well. It's always about the fighting spirit that we love in players, and he's always been very gracious, modest, and kind, even after being Rafael Nadal.
The last two words define him for me: modest and kind. 1 o'clock in Delhi, he was still intrigued by that painting in the hotel, that fresco. Unbelievable. Modesty and kindness and grace, the three traits that define Rafael Nadal. Abhijit Deshmukh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining
Thank you.
us and giving your Rafa Nadal update. Snehashish Mukherjee,
Thank
Gargi
you.
says you will be melting. Before you melt, what's the update? Yesterday, everything that could go right for India has gone right. So that brings the smile on your face. Now tell me, what is the update from Dubai? Can we beat Australia? What are your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. Fans believe that now we can beat Australia because after yesterday's game, when we talked with some fans, they believe that with the kind of momentum now the team has got after the Sri Lanka game, we hope and we can believe that Team India now can defeat Australia in Sharjah. But as we all know that it will not be so easy because we all know how Australia will come up, and especially they have played already in Sharjah 2 matches. This will be their third game, and for India it will be the first game in Sharjah. So the conditions will be different. The team needs to adapt quickly, so it will be difficult, but fans surely believe that with this current momentum after Sri Lanka game, India might have now a chance to defeat Australia also.
Gargi Raut, straight question. Before that, Gargi D, okay, Gargi D, all your favorites like Virat and Nadal are retiring in 24. Priyanshu.
That's true. That's true, and very difficult to digest as well. But life goes on, and watching
And
them
there's
play,
more of Virat coming in Australia.
yeah,
Virat has just
exactly.
retired from one format.
Exactly. At least Virat, we're going to see much more of him in ODIs and uh, Test cricket as well. And watching Virat in Tests is the best. I don't think even T20 I've enjoyed it as much as Test. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
happy
not a
about
format that is his best in any case. T20 is not
it.
Virat's best format in any case. Test cricket is where Virat Kohli is Virat Kohli. No debate. In Australia, you would want to see Virat Kohli. Coming back to Snehashish, Gargi, the question that I need to ask you, will that
Yeah.
be enough? New Zealand is going to play a Sri Lanka, which is looking an absolutely pathetic Sri Lanka, I'm sorry to say. New
Yeah.
Zealand is going to play Pakistan without Fatima Sana, and condolences to Fatima Sana Khan for the bereavement in her family. Her father passed away. So Fatima Sana Khan, the best player in that team, won't be there. So New Zealand will play a beleaguered Pakistan, a half-baked Pakistan, and a pathetic Sri Lanka. So and they will play on Monday. So they will play one day after India. So they will know what the NRR is. So even if India does the unthinkable and beat Australia, do you reckon that we've actually opened semi-final doors, or is it premature to say that, Gargi?
I think it's premature at this point. And even if we won the last match by 85 runs, by 85 run margin, it still doesn't guarantee us a spot in the semi-final. And that's why the Pakistan win with a big margin was so important to us, and that did not go away. I think that would be, when you look back on the tournament, I think that will be the biggest regret for the Indian team, that they could not, grab that game and grab that opportunity. That was the perfect opportunity for India, but unfortunately, it did not go away. Looking at India Australia, the way that Australia is playing, I mean, Sharjah 148 runs. How does that happen? How did Australia do that? Because you've got some serious grit in that team. Serious grit. They bat so deep. They bowl so well.
And did you see the way they batted? They were brilliant, except their drop at long on, which should have been taken a Perry.
Yeah.
Other than that, they were in complete control. I mean, complete control. Beth Mooney, Eddie's Perry. I mean, what a side that one is. I mean, they're just too good. Just too good.
Exactly. And I think that's where my that's where I think this is a huge threat for India. And even if by some chance, by some miracle, India wins against Australia, New Zealand have two chances to get their NRR up. So it's looking grim. I think India's fate is still hanging in the balance right now, and it doesn't
Both
look good.
Gargi and I agree on this, Nehashish. I mean, the question for you, yes, it gives us confidence. It does give us confidence. But do you think the other opportunity for India, can Sri Lanka cause an upset against New Zealand? Is there any possibility? I mean, in
We
cricket,
all
there is
can,
always.
yes. In cricket, there is always possibility, but we all can hope that maybe Sri Lanka, maybe Pakistan can come up good for India. But if you ask me, Sri Lanka looking now
So
at
for
the way
once, Bharat Ramraj and Snehashish Mukherjee will support Pakistan in Dubai, and that's a real good one. So Snehashish, I want even
yes.
Bharat with Pakistan fans supporting Pakistan. Good one.
Okay. So we all can hope, but seeing Sri Lanka the way they have played, I think yesterday after the match, in the press conference, there one of the coach attended the press conference. They also said that they are very disappointed with the display of their cricket because the way they have come to the tournament, the way they have played cricket so far in this year before this World Cup. They were expecting some special things, but they are very disappointed. They had to, go to the, boards and work on that everything what have gone wrong. They are having chats and all everything. But so I think hopefully in the last game, at least I am expecting that even Pakistan and Sri Lanka lost to New Zealand. At least you lost by a small margin, so that cannot affect the net run rate that much. Okay, so I am expecting India, even if India wins against Australia, I am not expecting it will be a huge margin win. Like it will not be a huge margin win, wicket victory, or or run, by a huge margin of run. At least India should try to win their game first of all, and then let's see what happens. But hopefully Sri Lanka and Pakistan, even if they lost, at least if they lost, by a little bit of margin, then that can help India at least in terms of net run rate.
So Snehashish, before I close with Gargi, what is the India plan? Are they training today? Is there a press
No.
conference tomorrow? What is happening? Is the Indian team on a
Yes.
break? What's happening?
Yes, today there is no practice, especially after after match day. No practice happens generally. So today there is no practice. Today Australia, England, all the other teams practice as their match is going to happen tomorrow and day after tomorrow. I think tomorrow there should be a practice session. So we'll go there. We'll get all the latest updates from there. But as of now, today there is no practice. And obviously in tomorrow's practice session we will keep an eye on Pooja Vastakar, because we all know that hard fitness is so much important. She is one of your top players, and I think before a match like Australia, you should pray, you should hope that a player like Pooja Gastokar should get fitten up and should get a place in the playing 11. Though it looks tough as the way we have seen so far in her in the training session. But let's see how she turns up tomorrow in the training session. And as soon as we got any get any updates, we'll definitely share with our viewers.
Last question, Gargi Raut, Harmanpreet Kaur, number 3, number 4. We have seen, musical chairs happening, once 3, once 4. Is there kind of a plan that, okay, if there is a start, Harman 3, if there's no start, if there's an early wicket, Jemmy 3, do you reckon that is how India will go about in that match against Australia also? Because whatever happens, you need clarity against Australia. If you don't have clarity against Australia, you will be in trouble. If there's an early wicket, do you want to see Harmanpreet Kaur step out? Do you want to see Jemima? If there's a start, maybe 30 odd or 40, 35, 40 odd in 6 overs, do you then want to see Harmanpreet Kaur? What is the ideal plan for Australia, Gargi Raut?
I think at this point I would stick with Harmanpreet Kaur at number 3, because if there is an early wicket, like you said, I'd want Harmanpreet Kaur to come in and go bang bang. I want her to take control of the power play and build that innings that it proves so in the last game as well. When you have that inning in the power play, when you have a strong foundation there, you can easily build from there. And I think Harmanpreet Kaur is very capable of doing that. So I would stick with Harmanpreet Kaur at 3 in that case. If there is an early wicket, if they're playing, I think you don't need to. If the openers are playing well, you don't need to change anything. So in either case, I'm sticking with Harmanpreet.
Okay, so more updates from Dubai, plenty of updates from football. The Molina interview at 6 p.m. coming for you on the Rev Sports platforms, and the big Molina interview on the Derby in a few days from now. Chess, table tennis from the Asian table tennis. Gautam, it's not Akhikas, it is Ahika. And yes, it was a fantastic effort from Ahika. Answer to the Olympic snub. Absolutely correct, Gautam. So plenty of sport will come your way along with the GCL. We are getting you all the interviews today. Also, tomorrow we will get you all the Indian greats. It's 1 month to go for Gukesh's World Championship final, and we will get all the Indian greats together. We have a Prag, we have a Vaishali, we have an Arjun, we have a Vidit talking about Gukesh's final and building that for us. So keep following Rev Sports, subscribe to the platform, ring the notification bell, and all of us will come back soon. Thank you very much for watching.